I just have a question. I try to, what do you call it? Present the question. So in the Bhagavatam, I mean the whole Bhagavatam came about by the conversation with Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadev Goswami. But there was an incident that happened that incited that conversation of that was meant to happen in that assembly of Vaishnavas, and he just passed by. Or was that there is always like a big drama like in the Battle of Kurukshetra, then Lord Krishna spoke the Gita to Arjuna.
Yes, it happened before. Gita happened before.
Before when?
Maybe 150 years before. There was a battle of Kurukshetra. After that, Krishna was a king for about 100 or something years. And after that, Parikshit Maharaj, he was 33 years. So it was like 130 years before the gap between Battle of Kurukshetra and conversation of Shuka and Parikshit. Parikshit was son of Pandavas. After Battle of Kurukshetra, Pandavas, Yudhishthir Maharaj performed. Parikshit was not son, he was grandson. He was a grandson, I'm sorry. All children of Pandavas were killed by son of Drona. I forgot his name.
Duryodhana.
No, Duryodhana was
Drona.
Cousin brother, son of Drona. It's on my tongue, but I cannot pull it out. Anyway. Maybe. Something like this. So, he killed children of Pandavas in revenge for his father. Drona was killed in this battle. So he wanted to take revenge. And the battle finished, and he entered the camp of Pandavas when everyone was sleeping. It was at night. There's a story that he looked up, at night he looked up and he saw crows and owls, that, owls. And he saw that owls kill, though it is night, but they kill crows, sleeping crows. So he came with the idea that he can kill the sleeping ones. And he entered the camp. He killed 5 children of Pandavas, and then he set into fire whole camp, and everyone died. So Pandavas, they won in the battle, and some of the soldiers and officers remained alive after that battle. Not many, maybe few hundred only. But they were killed next night when sleeping. But Uttara, she escaped, and she was pregnant. Pregnant with Parikshit. So Parikshit, he was grandson of Pandavas. And so then Pandavas performed the older brother, Yudhishthir Maharaj. He was emperor of the world, and he performed royal sacrifice, Ashvamedha, very terrible sacrifice, very bloody. You know that horse they let to go. They let go that horse, and whatever land that horse enter, the ruler of this kingdom or land either agrees that now he is under control of the emperor, or challenge the new emperor. So Parikshit Maharaj, he conquered everyone, and when that horse comes back, they kill him, cut into 8 pieces, and the wife of the king lies down in between of that corpse. And then some sacrifice is performed, some fire sacrifice.
Why do they do that sacrifice?
So they kill the horse, and then the pieces they offer demigods, whatever, I don't know exactly. So, and when everything was established, and then Krishna left the world, and they thought that for them there is no need anymore to be in this world, because their dearest friend Krishna left it. So they also left, and they went up to Himachal, to Tibet. They went, and on the way they died. So, and then, but their daughter, their daughter-in-law, I think, yes, she raised up Parikshit Maharaj, and he became emperor of the world. And we know that he was 33 when he was cursed. He was too much attached to hunting. It is said that in scriptures that he was perfect in all aspects of life. He was strong, rightful, brave. He was wise. He knew scriptures. He was pious. But only one thing was wrong with him. He loved hunting. So in this hunting, he killed many innocent animals. For a king, it's all right to hunt, but you should not exceed certain amount. You should not be agitated with that gambling attitude. Addiction, yeah. Like to kill, to kill for sacrifice for eating, it's alright, but not more than you need. But he was attached to So then this happened. So he chased some animal, and then he was lost, and he met that rishi sitting. He was thirsty. The king was thirsty, and he asked that rishi for some water, but the rishi was in deep meditation. He didn't notice the guest. And so Parikshit Maharaj, he had this bowl, and he took a dead snake and put as a mala around this rishi's neck, and like it was like momentary lapse of reason. Then he regret. But that boy, this son of this rishi, when he came back, he saw someone did wrong with his father, and he knew it was Parikshit Maharaj. He cursed. And Parikshit Maharaj was 33 years old that time. So he was in acne of his life. 33, man is strong and opulent, beautiful wife, unlimited riches, and huge kingdom. So he was at the top of his human life, and then he is told he is going to be killed. So then he went to the river bank, where he had to listen the story of Shuka for 7 days. So we may say it's 100 plus years. 100 plus years. Something like this. And sorry, and what was the
But was he coming by to the assembly, or how did he?
He went to the bank of the river, in the nearest forest, and it happened so that Jai was and it happened so that rishis came together to discuss the oneness of the world and develop some the conception to share. It was like Kumbh Mela festival, something like this. Every 12 years they used to come together and share their revelations, their discovery in spiritual subjects. So they were there, and when they discussed these matters, he noticed that these rishis, maybe they had the answers to his questions. So he sat along with them and asked these questions. And they started giving their answers. The question was, what is our duty? If there any duty at all, if when we die everything becomes null, nothing. If we disappear, he asked, if we disappear as a cloud, so then what's the sense of performing one's duty. If we disappear anyway, for some time our name remains among the alive. But when these people die, then even our name disappears. So then, what's the purpose? And they started giving their answers. You know, if you read Plato's dialogues, there's the famous Greek philosopher Plato, and he was disciple of Socrates, and so he wrote down dialogues with his guru, with his master. And one dialogue is called the feast, the festival, when they discuss different subjects, and they discuss. One dialogue is called the feast, and they discuss eros, the erotic principle of universe, that everything is symmetrical and two halves tend to each other, and this is called love. So there are many ideas of love. So they discuss, and 5 or 6 people give their conception, and then finally Socrates gives his conception. And everyone admits that his conception is the best. The idea of that principal moiety, the predominant subdued. He gives the ideas of love and service, self-sacrifice. So same, these rishis, they discussed dharma, what one should do, what one should not. And he was not satisfied with the answers, because they, like one rishi, I forgot his name, he was in this assembly, but he also is the author, Canada. His name is Canada. His idea is Nastika. Nastika means na asta, nothing exists. He's materialist. He says that the soul, the consciousness, is the tension within our body. We are the tension. So we have like atoms, and when they produce some tension, this is the consciousness. And when tension decrease, so it's like electric current. When there is difference between two ends, then we call it's a current. But actually it's tension. There is no current. Nothing flows from A to B. It's just tension. So when this tension decreases and becomes neutral, we call it death. So you are tension and you are tension within body. So when body deteriorates, then there is no tension anymore. So then you don't exist anymore. So then there is no duty. The thing is, and so then they saw one youth, one boy, 16, 17 years old boy, similar that we normally see in India. Homeless with these padlocks, and and by his features they could detect that he is exalted person. He knows something more than they did. And they invited him on Vyasasana and asked Parikshit, they let Parikshit ask the question, and Parikshit and Shuka said, before you determine what is your duty, what you should do, what you should not, you have to determine what exists and what does not. Exist means eternally. Or at least you have to determine about nature of yourself, and what you should do or what you shouldn't do. You have to find something that lasts as long as you do. If you last only up to the end of your body, then your dharma should be towards that something that lasts same span, time span. But if you exist longer, then you have to find something that exists after you die. So once you determine about things that last as long as you do, then we can discuss what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And then he gives him ideas that you as Atma, as a conscious element, you are eternal. With this body, you don't disappear with this body, and you continue to exist, but you take another form. So it takes some pages, some chapters to explain Parikshit Maharaj that eternal. But then he says, but you're not always sure about your eternity. You're not always aware of your eternity. That means you have two natures. You have double nature. Is external or temporary nature, and internal or eternal and internal nature. So your external nature is your bodily nature, and you have to determine who you are externally. And after you know it, then you have to adjust conception of dharma, your duty, to your external self. So you are a king. That means, and it's temporary. You are king for some years. You cannot be always king. So some years you are king, but it's not eternal, because even within this life, when your children are grown, you have to give them your kingdom and retire. So as long as you are king, you have to perform that duty. When you retire, you have to perform the duty of a retired person. So whatever you identify yourself with, you have to perform. This is your external duty and temporary duty. But you are internal, and And Parikshit Maharaj says, but now I am cursed to die, so I'm not a king anymore. That kingdom is not mine anymore. The name does not belong to me anymore. Nothing belongs to me anymore. Kingdom, wife, possessions, even name, title, and even name, Parikshit. I realize it's not I am something different from my name. They call me Parikshit, but I don't know who this Parikshit is. This is me, real me is the one who asks you questions. This is real me. Other just, I don't know, I reject it. So, and Sukadev says, answer, oh, this is good. So that means you got rid of external, of temporary, of illusory self. So here we are, we can discuss something with your real self. And the duty of your real self is to inquire of the harmony. If you look within yourself, all your life you were looking for harmony, for the beauty, and everything that everything you struggled for, you made efforts for, was something that you was deprived of. You were in need of something. This is why you performed all your activities. You fought with someone. You fought someone. You made your kingdom. You performed your religious duties. You married. You brought children into life. You were in need of something. This is why you performed all these motions, emotional, physical, and that means something you were always looking for, and you were looking for happiness or harmony, something that something that by having it you don't have any more desires. This is called harmony. You become part and parcel of something that completely suits you. That's what we call harmony or the beauty. And this is your main duty, the duty of your internal self, as Parikshit Maharaj says, to always be in search of that beautiful reality. It's very important. Our duty is always be in search. And when they finish that dialogue, after 7 years, after 7 days, Parikshit Maharaj, finally, his final question was, yes, I've been listening to you for 7 days, but what is the purpose of life? What should one do? And Sukadeva Swami was surprised. But you performed your purpose of life for last 7 years. You already performed. You already accomplished it, because by speaking about that harmony, Krishna. Harmony in Sanskrit language means Krishna. Krishna is harmony. Attractive or magnetic, something that pulls you, someone that pulls you to himself. And Parikshit Maharaj says, we've been performing, we accomplished that purpose of life for the last 7 days. Why you ask this question? And his final words are to talk about reality, the beautiful, is the purpose of your existence. And this is what we did for 7 days, to talk about it. And he pronounced that word Sankirtana, to talk Sankirtana. And all these sages, they were sitting by Shuka and listened to him. So, like in dialogues of Socrates, you know this Greek philosopher, Socrates. He was the founder of European philosophy.
Maharaj.
No.
In person.
No. It came after, but he was not Mayavadi. He says that the God is the beauty, and to look for the beauty is our purpose of life. Of course, if we understand Vaishnava philosophy, we can see that he is he is the follower of Krishna. We know it because the God for him is the beauty, Dionys. The Greeks, they loved two main gods, Dionys and Apollo.
Zeus?
Huh?
Zeus?
I say their favorite gods. Zeus was, or Devas, it's Indra. They followed him, they worshipped him, but the most important, the favorite ones was Apollo. He is a very righteous god, and Dionys. And Dionys is the figure of Dionys is very close to Krishna. He plays flute always, and he attracts girls and women, and attracts them from their families and take them out in rural environment and plays at night with them, and they drink and they have fun. This is Dionys. And then he disappears and goes to another city or village.
Like in demigod sort of.
Like Krishna, he plays flute. Well, all these conceptions of gods, of course, they took from Vedas, because the father of Greek philosophy, Pythagoras, Pythagoras, he traveled to India. He traveled to India. He came back from India, and so he was like a priest, and then he disappeared and he went to India. It was when Persia and Greeks they become the one civilization. For some time they were friends. And Persians, they were they were descendants of Janamejaya, the son of Parikshit. When Parikshit Maharaj died, he left the son Janamejaya, and he was the ruler. And first thing he did when he became a ruler, emperor, he tried to kill all snakes in the universe, all snakes, and he killed 99% of them. He started that sacrifice, that huge sacrifice, killing snakes, but Kali survived because he agreed to stop this sacrifice, because one Brahmana who was a son of a serpent and a human being, and he could take both shapes, so he entered that sacrificial arena, and Janmejaya asked, "Oh, you saw shining, effulgent Brahmana, you can ask me ask anything from me." And that Brahmana said, "Stop the sacrifice." So he saved some snakes. Anyway, but after Janamejaya, there were two inheritants, two sons. Yavana and someone else. So they split the kingdom by two. And Yavana, he is the father of Persians. Even the language and names, Alexander the Great, he fought Persians, and his enemy was called Mithridata, the king Mithridata, and Darius. Mitra means friend, and Data, given. So it's Sanskrit language. They spoke Sanskrit language. And Pythagoras went to Persia, and from Persia to India. So he brought these ideas, but he was Nyaya. He said that the world is the number. Everything is the combination of numbers, which is true. So Zeus, the name Zeus comes from Devas. And the figure of Zeus, also with the trident, the lightning, so it's Indra. And all others, demigods, they very similar to, and stories, myths, very similar to Vedic, like the big flood, the fire, then the flat earth, whatever, many. And Dionys, very similar to Krishna. So Socrates, he preached that the beauty is above all, the harmony is above all.
Sukadev says that, right? Beauty will conquer the world. You know that one?
It's Socrates said, but he says save the world, not conquered, but save, which is the same, more or less. So this is why he was sentenced to death, because he preached something else that normally they preached in Athens, in the Greek capital. What do they call? Athena. In Athena. Athens. They preached. They worshipped some other gods, but he said we should preach the beauty, the harmony within ourselves. And he said that when you look at two objects, one is more beautiful, another is less beautiful, or two people, one is more beautiful, one is less beautiful, or one is bigger, one is smaller, one is brighter, one is dimmer. So you always compare. So if you compare, one is more beautiful, one is less beautiful, that means that idea of the beauty is within you, within yourself. If you compare, if you say this is more beautiful, this is less beautiful, that means that idea of absolute beauty is there. You follow his thought, the line of thought. If you compare, this is black and this is more black and this is less black, that means that idea of the blackest thing is somewhere. So then he said, what you're looking for all your life, harmony, the beauty. If you do something because you want progress from your current existence to better existence, that means that the absolute good is there. If you move from worse to better, that means that the best is somewhere. The absolute best, the absolute good is somewhere. This is what he preached, and he was sentenced to death. He had to take the poison for that. Funny. So what do you think?
So, Parikshit Maharaj, in 7 days, he had to be realized in 7 days, right?
It's very funny that Sukadev Goswami says, you're looking for purpose of life. You're looking for what is your duty. But reading, but hearing and speaking about Krishna, about the beauty, is the duty of human being. And we performed it. Did you notice? We performed the life duty for the last 7 days. We're already in the middle of performing the life duty.
Speaker and hearer, they both in service.
Isn't that so that, they're always presenting this scenario so that the teachings can come to us, right? The scenario of Parikshit Maharaj being cursed and then hearing the Bhagavatam. And also, similarly, yeah, like that, those teachings come.
Yeah.
So presenting like the environment is.
The main thing is to be attentive. It's not. Parikshit Maharaj said that the conversations about Krishna you should not consider as any other religious activity. You perform so many religious activities. You you worshipped your deities, you performed festivals, you invited pilgrims and satisfied brahmanas with cows, with this opulence. So this is a religious activity, but conversation about harmony and beauty, it is something different. You should not consider it as the same. To satisfy brahmanas and to speak of Krishna, it is not the same.
And then we, like hearing or reading, but then we have above that is chanting the holy name.
This is the same. Hearing or speaking, it is the same as chanting holy name. It's not different. Holy name, if you mean Mahamantra is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. If you record Srimad Bhagavatam and then congest it, concise it, sometimes you put tape on double X speed, like so if you concise to concentrate to 10 seconds, you will hear Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. It's the name of Srimati Radharani. If you take the 7 days to 10 seconds, then you will hear Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So to chant Bhagavatam is as good as chanting. It is the same. So it's and our chanting is also made consist of hearing and speaking. We hear the leading voice, Hare Krishna, Krishna. We hear it, and then we repeat. So we listen and we speak. We listen and we speak. This is what Srimad Bhagavatam. Parikshit Maharaj listens and then asks questions. Listens and speaks. Listens and speaks. So this is Sankirtana. So he says that conversation about the beauty is your main activity, and this is what you do now. The only thing is to be utmost attentive. And then Parikshit Maharaj realized that curse helped him to be most attentive. If he still had the idea of being a king or husband of that wives and father of the children and the master of the people, then he would not be so much attentive, because that self-identification diverted his attention. But now he knows that within 7 days he dies, so he forgot about all this kingdom, wife and children, friends, enemies, and everything, opulences. So he became most attentive. That's the condition. Otherwise, it's not a Sankirtana. If you think of something else and your mouth performs that produce that sound, Hare Krishna, it's not Sankirtana, it's just mechanical activity. So you have to be present in your activity to perform it. So it's a lesson, this is the lesson for us. We don't know whether we die within 7 days or 17 years or 70 years. We don't know. But we know it happens anyway. But we think, oh, I don't know when I die, so maybe I don't die. Or maybe it's not urgent, it's not fixed so far. So I have so many other things to do. In case of Parikshit Maharaj, it was different. He knew he was going to die, and he did not want to stop it. He didn't want to stop it. So if we keep in mind that we are mortal and the death is right behind us, and we don't know when she tells us to go out of this body. We don't know when, but we know she is there, behind my back, behind everyone's back. So if we keep this in mind, then our chanting, our listening would be more deep. We would be closer to the level of Parikshit Maharaj in terms of seriousness.
That's so interesting. It's like now that you speak and we become, aware of, it's actually so beautiful what's in the soul and the attention for this wealth what we have gotten. But then samskara takes over again or something. It's like the dullness of material of things in your samskara maybe, or the dullness of the mind. It spoils it actually.
Yeah.
And to keep that aliveness of the soul, so to say, maybe, like every moment. How to do that?
The mind is very difficult to control. There must be very strong motivation. So you cannot control the mind, but the mind may be shocked by some event, by some drama to be diverted from that mundane things to something important. You cannot tell your mind, don't think about this, think about this. Next moment, you lose your mind. But what happened with Parikshit Maharaj, he understood he was going to die. Then the mind became very much submissive. He didn't have to tell his mind, now think about Krishna. No, the mind gave up. The mind said, we're going to die? Okay, I follow you. So the idea of death is very sobering agent to our mind. That this is our last day, or maybe tomorrow. So every day we have to wake up knowing that this is our last day. It helps to concentrate on important things and less important things. The majority of death sentenced people, they become very much philosophically inclined and religious. They read holy scriptures, whatever holy scriptures, Quran or Bible or whatever, philosophy, because something happens to them. So,
so not to allow ourselves to perform ourselves in a robotic, mechanic way, but try to be attentive and focused, isn't it?
yeah, to divide external activity and internal activity. Internally, we're all looking for harmony, for reality, the beautiful internally. And externally, we may do anything, but not to mix, never fall into trap that what I'm doing in this environment, illusory environment, is very important. It's just temporary. It should be helpful to our internal work. Our internal work is always search for reality, the beautiful, but in our line, and this is actually what everyone does. Everyone, Sharma says, everyone is looking for harmony. Everyone. But some people do it consciously, some unconsciously. So Vaishnavas, these are those who do it consciously. They consciously look for Vishnu, for the truth, consciously. But the way to proceed, to progress towards the truth, beauty and reality, the beautiful, is to serve to those who already serve. This is our way. There are many ways to be closer or to find out the truth. To meditate, to concentrate on your own self, to study holy scriptures or chant mantras. There are many ways to pray, so many ways. But in our line, in our tradition, to serve those who are already in the position of servants. That's the speciality of our line. So, because we believe that the truth cannot be found without his own will. If the truth doesn't want you, unless the truth wants you to find him, you won't be able to find it. But others, they think the truth is like a big mountain. We just climb up from the west side, from the east side, from north or from south. We just climb up. All paths go to the same summit. This is what they think. But we say, no, it's not, the truth is not the mountain, it's not the summit. The truth is conscious being. It's a person. And the mountain is not a person. Yes, you can take some instruments and climb up. So the wheel of that summit, of that mountain, you don't count the wheel, but we count. We say, no, that Samet is conscious, and that Samet is conscious, willing, well-wishing, and beautiful. And unless he wants you to admit, though, just forget it. So we take, okay, and then we say, yeah, okay, we take another way. We serve those who please you, and you're not be able to reject us. So this is our tricky way to serve the Guru, who pleases his Guru, up to the very top. And the top is so pleased with closed environment, closed servants, so pleased that whatever they ask from him, he agrees. This is our last hope. Hope against the hope. As they say, there is no way, but we have to walk. There is no way to Krishna, but we have to walk. Because you cannot cheat Krishna. All our hearts have some specks, some impurities. So we cannot cheat him, because he can see through our mind to our heart, and he sees our impurities. So he doesn't want any impurity. But we can cheat his servants. Him we cannot cheat, but we can cheat his servants. We can pretend to be devotees. And Krishna sees that we are not devotees. But his devotees, they don't see it, because so this is our hope, to cheat them, so then they promote us. Tricky. As Srila Gurudev said, you are my children, you are my spiritual children, I'm your spiritual father, and I see impurities, I see imperfections, and I may be dissatisfied with you. But your spiritual grandfather, no, like in mundane life, parents, they know faults of their children, and they chastise, and sometimes they fight their children. But grandparents, no. Grandparents, they always love. So he said, your spiritual grandfather is very much satisfied with you. I am not, but your grandfather is satisfied with you. Okay, I think we have to finish today, because there is nothing more to say. Jai Shri Shri Acharya Board Ki Jaya. Jaya Shri London Mahaprabhu Ki Jaya. Jaya Srila Acharya Maharaj Ki Jaya. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Gayin Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jaya. Jai Srila Bhakti Rakshak Shtar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jaya. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jaya. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jaya. Shri Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jaya. Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jaya. Nitai Gaura